Welcome to the Financielle app. I'm Laura, one of the co-founders of Financielle, and I'm going to walk you through a budget demo so you can see how to create a budget that you can finally stick to. Let's do it. Welcome to the Financielle app. I'm Laura, one of the co-founders, and I'm going to walk with you setting up a budget so that you can create one that you can finally stick to. Okay, we're going to get straight into it. So straight into the app, and down the bottom, we're going to pick budget. If this is the first one you've done, it'll look like this. It could look a little bit different if you already have them. We're going to click get started. So first you can name your budget. So we're going to call it October budget. I feel like we might need a pumpkin. And then we'll pick our dates. So your dates could be the 1st of October to the 31st. It could be the 28th when you get paid. It could be weekly. It could be monthly. Just create the length of budget that you want. So I'm going to go easy and going to go for the month of October and pick a little emoji for that one. Okay, as I said earlier, we're going to create a really simple budget. The Financielle budgeting method is really simple, but it works like a profit and loss account would in business. You take what comes in, you take away what goes out, and you make sure that you have an excess left over to put towards your goals, like your profit. We'll get into goals in a minute. Firstly, we're going to add income. So say if I have a salary of £2,000, I'm going to add that. There might also be a part-time income that I have. Say I earn £350 from some part-time work, and we'll save that. And there's lots of other different types of income that you might get that you can add. And then we'll click continue. Next, we're looking at fixed expenses. So fixed expenses are things that don't change month to month. They're things like your mortgage or your rent, energy bills, subscriptions, insurances, utilities. Anything that's very, very consistent tends to be a direct debit that's fixed. You kind of put here. So let's say that our mortgage is £1,000. Let's also add another expense, and I'm not going to add them all, but I want to try and give you a flavor for how much things, how you put them in the app. So let's add a few more. We'll add fitness. Say I've got a gym of 25, and this is you'll have way more as well. But renters insurance, so that's 50. So I've got I've got 4 there, and I'm going to click continue. The next is sinking funds. Now, this is really important for those of you that have never included sinking funds in a budget. We're about to change your life, I promise you. It gets really interesting with sinking funds. Sinking funds is the key to getting ahead financially. A sinking fund is a pot of money that you build to one side for large expected and planned expenses. This isn't a generic savings account. It has a name, it has a purpose, it's going to be accounted for on a monthly basis. By incorporating expenses like these into your monthly budget, you're taking control of planned future expenses that could have previously sent you into debt, or you'd had to dig into your savings to use. Think of it as literally the opposite of a buy now, pay later. It's a save now, buy later for a planned expense. So a few other examples of those could be car maintenance. I have a secondhand car, stuff's going to happen to it. I'm going to add money into a pot to help maintain that. And what else might be? Maybe we'll do a home and garden fund. It always needs repairs from time to time. I'm going to put £50 a month. You might celebrate, if you celebrated Christmas, I celebrate Christmas. Say if I put £100 a month aside for gifts, festivities, outfits, lights, decorations, whatever it is, then we put it in there. And for next to each sinking fund, you can put a little note as well. So maybe you'll do car insurance and you might say, oh, that's with Barclays. You can even put a note and it'll show the note, and then we continue. Okay, now we're going to look at flexible expenses. These are expenses that can vary from month to month, such as groceries, eating out, clothing, gifts. So we'll start to add these as flexible expenses. So let's do, where's our groceries? Groceries is here. We'll say we'll do £300 a month groceries. We might, eating out, dining out, we might do 200 there. Things are going to get a bit tight because I'm spending quite a bit here. So fuel, we'll put 50 in because I work from home and don't use my car a lot. And then maybe fun money, we'll put £50 fun money. So you'll obviously add in more. These are just example numbers. We'll click continue. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. This is your excess. This is your personal profit. This is you having something left over to do something meaningful with other than expenses and bills. So your excess for this budget is £100. What this means is from what came in and then all the expenses that came out, you have £100 left. Now at Financielle, we want you to work a really strong money plan. We want you to know how to do a budget, build a tiny emergency fund so you get practice of how to build up savings. We want you to ditch consumer debt wherever you can, because it just does not add value to your life. It can make us feel weighted down and stressed. And then we want you to save for the future, save for properties, then move on to investments over and above maybe your regular investing in your pensions and things and your retirement accounts and stuff. So this is where we really want you to think. There's no point doing a budget if there's nothing left over. And in this budget, we have £100 left over. Let's use it. So say I don't need a mini emergency fund. Say I've already got that. I'm going to add a different excess, and I can choose from lots of different options to things that would grow or savings or things like that. So I'm going to say this is going to go to my emergency fund, and I'm going to use all 100 of it. I could break that up. I could put 100 in emergency fund, 100 in a regular investment account, but I'm just going to put all of it there for now, and I'm going to click save. So as you can see, we've done our first budget, our October budget. Our income of 2,350 came in. We had expenses of 2,250, including saving for the future, because don't forget those little Christmas and travel and home and garden and car maintenance. We're planning for the future with those, and we'll talk about those in a minute. And we had an excess of 4%. So 4% of the budget was left over to do something meaningful with, which in my case today was building that emergency fund. For you, it could be investing, it could be ditching debt. Wherever it is, you can decide where it goes in there. And that's it. So if we click continue, we've done the budget. Now, we'll run through this really quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time, but I think it's really important that, you can go in and you can edit this budget. You can also look at other budgets up the top. But you can also track whether you stick to this budget. So really quickly, don't forget to have a little look at adding your actuals. So firstly, an actual figure is the real figure that you actually earned or spent in comparison to your budget. So say that you thought you would be earning £2,350, but you actually in that part-time job earned £500, not £350. We can put that in and show that you beat the budget. So we will come to income, and we're going to say I planned for 2,000 and I did get 2,000. But for part-time income, I said it was going to be £350, but hey-ho, I did some extra shifts and it was £500. The other thing I could do is we could look at copying some budget figures, because some of them, you don't want to track them all individually. It's very likely that a fixed expense is going to be what you said it was going to be. It's very likely a sinking fund is what it's going to be because you planned that yourself. It's usually flexible, that changes. So you could actually come over here and go to copy budget figures and decide which of them you want to copy over. So in income, I don't want to copy over part-time income because I think that's going to change. Fixed expenses, yeah, they all look like going to be the same. Sinking funds, I'll have a look, but yes, I put all those to one side, so I don't need to disagree with that. And then I'm going to do these individually. When it comes to flexible, here's something you can do. If you are someone that wants to track your actual expenses to the penny, which a lot of us find, especially early on, it's a really good disciplined way of keeping control of your budget, making sure that you're on track. You can actually do it. You can either write on here and say, oh, it's £300. I actually spent 250, 258 even, end of the month. You can actually track actuals in the flexible section, transaction by transaction. So for example, in the groceries, I went to Tesco and I went on the first of the month, first day of my budget, and I spent £35.08. You may also have the next day gone to the fruit shop. So say if you went to the fruit shop in the village and it was the same day. So you then spent £7.05, save. Can you see it's totaled it? So now we know we spent £42.13, but we have two separate transactions with the date, so you can understand where you spent your money. You might go to fuel and do it all at once, so you might just add it in here. And you go through and you start tracking it during the month, and you get to a point where you have your actuals, and we might add one more transaction, so that looks much bigger. So say we actually then went back to Tesco on later in the week, and we did a really big shop, like 200. Okay, so then if we save this, what we get is an actual versus our budget. So we can see that Oh, I didn't go back in and do that income thing. Do you remember me saying that? So part-time income, let's pretend we actually earned £500, not 300. This shows that actually our income was 6.3% higher than we forecast it to be. We brought in extra money, we hustled, we did extra shifts. We also beat our expenses because we forecast that we were going to spend 2,250, but we actually came in a little bit under. And look at what this does to the excess. So we thought we were going to come out with £100 and we'd already planned to put that in our emergency fund and we've probably already moved it in there. But actually we have £317.87 as our excess because we worked harder to have some frugality around spending, not careless spending. We set a budget, we stuck to it. We were motivated to hit our goal of putting it in our emergency fund. Whilst I was going to put £100 in my emergency fund, I can now put £317.87. And I've used my excess. Ta-da! So this is how to build a budget you can finally stick to. Another tip is when you want to add another budget, copy this one. We could create the November one really easily. Select the date range of the 1st to the 30th of November. And we're going to copy. So I hit that toggle and I'm going to choose from the list. I'm going to choose my October budget. So if I click that and then I click, what I might do is, I think I'm going to do the same. I've got all the figures, they're all ready, but part-time income, I did 500 and I think I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to enter that in now because that's more realistic. Fixed expenses, I'll have a look. They're not going to change. Sinking funds, I'll have a little look. They're not going to change. Flexible expenses, actually, it's my friend's birthday in November. And I've got money down for gifts, but I might have a new outfit. So I'm going to put £100 in there because if I'm going to spend it, I'm going to spend it. I may as well put it in the budget. Save, done. And actually, it's told me that, can you see my excess rate is 150 on this budget because I'm earning more. So I can decide, I'm going to put 150 in the emergency fund because I've still got a big target to hit. And there we go. And very quickly, I've created my November budget. It's very similar to the October one, but it's had those tweaks because every budget is different. The other cool thing when you create your budget is you can really see how you're spending your budget. That's where your fixed expenses are in the pink, flexible in blue, sinking funds in purple. We want to grow that green. So the idea is you will grow that green and get it to a point where it's 10% of your budget, 25% of your budget even. The more money that can go towards things that grow or things that are better for your financial well-being, the better. And this is our actuals, so you can kind of switch between the two. And if you wanted to share that with people, you can actually share it by touching this budget. You can share the figures, or you could not share the figures. We could hide them and just say, look, this is how I allocate my budget. This has been the first demo that we've done of this product. We should have done it a lot earlier, and lots of you have asked for this. So we really appreciate you being patient with us and for using this product and for giving us so much feedback. So give us feedback. Ask us any questions, comment below, send it into hello@financielle.com, and we're all ears. We just want you building these budgets so that you have an excess, so that you put them towards things that grow. So thank you so much and good luck.